Yo, there were so many people waiting for the stream. I almost dropped my headset. I was like, hi. How's it going? I was like, good Lord. Okay, give me a second here. Let me get all this set up. Well, I guess everything's set up. I just need to do this and make it bigger so I can see. Hi, how you doing? How you be? Talk to the AB. Hope everybody had a good day at work. Hope everybody had a good day at school or college or whatever you're doing here. My name is Anthony, or the Open Forum. And here we actually don't play video games. Instead, we troubleshoot and help anyone else who's having problems with their video games because we're good people and we do it because we care and we need to help people. My name is Anthony, and yeah, we have a pretty good show. We got a lot of stuff going on. I kind of got it integrated with a lot of other stuff. So without further ado, we can get started here. Hope everybody's doing well, and let's see what we got. So the first one I thought was kind of interesting, and just people's ideas. So this is from, I guess, Joe Blow, and Joe Blow writes, when did you decide to charge money to repair, provide tech support for computers? I'm realizing if you want to get better at tech support, you can basically just teach yourself how to do it via Google and YouTube. If you run into a problem, there's websites like Reddit or Discord where you can get custom advice pretty quickly too. At what point did you guys start working on other people's computers for money? What did you do when people present you with a problem you haven't run into before? Do you charge them for the time it takes you to teach yourself how to fix problems you're unfamiliar with? Is there an overt reason more IT people don't just contract out their services on their own? I just paid $130 for something that probably only took a guy 30 minutes. Seems like it could be lucrative for tech people to just start their own business. Okay, there's a lot to unpack here. A lot to unpack from an old man of like 20 years in the business. I've been doing this since I was like 6. So I've been doing this for a really long time. Okay, so let's just go with the first question. At what point did you guys start working on other people's computers for money? Me personally, I would say when I was 8. So what happened was, when I was younger, I used to, I got my first computer when I was like 8 or 9. I'm not even sure what computer it was. It was a laptop, ironically. It was one, okay, so we used to have these things. I'm not sure if they do them anymore, but it was at this place called the Oil Palace, right? And it's basically like a giant thrift shop. And computers was all the rage, but I never had one, right? So we only had computers that like offices and work offices and like Apple, like it was like the, back when you had the different color Macs, it was like somewhere around that time. I'm not even sure if Mac was even a thing then, but I got my first computer there. It was a gigantic laptop. It was like blue and gray. And that was the first computer I ever had. And from then on, I have been in computers ever since. And what I would actually do, because back then, everybody had a skill set, right? I'm not saying everybody now doesn't have a skill set. I'm just saying back then people had a skill set. And what they would do is you would trade one skill for the other. And so like I would actually fix people's computers and they would fix whatever technical or mechanical issue or something like that was going on. Or if I needed help with something, or if I needed to get money, that's what I would do. So I would just trade my skill for another person's skill. And so, and we would, move on about our business. And usually it was for like auto problems, stuff like that, because I'm not very good when it comes to vehicles. So that's what I used to do. And I kind of grew from there. So now charging people individually money for fixing computers, it depends. If I know the person, if I know the issues are going to be quick, it changes depending on how complicated I know the issue is going to be. Once you do it for a really long time, it's really hard to, you kind of know, if it's going to be bad, or if the person is going to give you a problem or something like that, then you know what you're going to charge. What do you do? And I'm not saying that to be negative. I'm just saying that you get a good idea how long something is going to take just from the demeanor of the other person. What do you do when people present you with a problem you haven't run into before? Well, getting actually good, and the reason why we can take so many questions and answer so many questions and do so many things is because people ask us questions that you don't run into before. That's how you get good at what you do. So there's no point in running from them, because that's the only way you're going to get better. So you're going to take an L eventually, and then you just basically learn from it. You research, watch a video, try to figure out exactly what you said or what you did wrong, and then proceed from there. That's typically how you get better. So for me personally, that's how I always looked at it. If I wanted to get better at something, I had to learn to get better. Do you charge them for the time it takes you to teach yourself how to fix a problem you're unfamiliar with? No. No. So these two questions, is there an reason more IT people don't just contract their services on their own? These two questions are actually the same answer. So do you charge them for the time it takes you to teach yourself? No. So the reason why you don't is because, well, you do, but it's not like that. The reason why is because you want to create a connection with your customer. You want to create a connection with whoever you're talking to, and you want to create a connection with whoever you charge. In business, in general, it doesn't have to be tech. It's just business we're talking about. In business, you always, always, always want to create a connection with that person. I don't care if you got to go to his daughter's recital. I don't care if you got to pick his son up from daycare. I don't care what you have to do. But typically what I found is, in order to create long-lasting relationships with people, you have to be willing to give. You have to be willing to sacrifice something, whether it's money or time. So typically some people do it with money. They were like, oh, hey, you know what? The first one's on me. Here's your money back. You know, don't even worry about it. You don't have to pay me this time, you know, but if you have any questions in the future, just be sure to hook me up or let me know. So some people do it that way. Some people do it with time. Some people just really want to invest time in that person to get to know that person. But you always have to build those bonds. Now, go into the last question. Why don't more people do it? It's because of that. Because most people that are in tech or in the science field are generally people who like things, not people. So it's very rare that you come across people who also like things and people. Like me personally, I'm introverted, but I can deal with people, no problem. It's just that it can be a little draining after a while. But me personally, like I enjoy dealing with people, but the way the world has shaped out is you can't be yourself in most situations. You see what I'm saying? So generally when people see you, they see a facade of you. They don't really see who you are. Whereas when I was growing up and when I was doing this, when I was younger, I could just be myself because my personality is so bubbly. People will gravitate to me just because of the way I talk, the way I act. Like I look mean and really overbearing, but as soon as I start talking, they're like, "Oh my God, he's so nice! Oh my God, hey, how's it going? How's the kids?" La 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 la. So that's the way I've always looked at it, and I always had that personality because when I was growing up, I was always a big guy. So you had to learn something, you know, if you want to talk to somebody, you got to have some type of thing. Either you're funny, you have a personality, something like that. So I've always had it. But at the same time, people in this field, they're usually more into things and they don't really have that type of personality to actually get familiar with people and actually grow a business. So it's easier for them because they're more used to things where they can just join a company, get a lab and be good. You know, they don't have to actually work with people. They only have to deal with people in a technical sense, but they don't actually have to work and talk to people. They can just be on their own. So the actual field itself lends itself to people who don't like talking to others. That's the reason why you don't see that all that often. I don't even know if this is something that needs to be typed. That's way too much to explain and to type. I'll spend 30 minutes typing that, but that's the way I feel about it. You know, I think the IT field is a great field to get into. I would recommend it. My career has been all IT this entire time. So yeah, I mean, I like the field. I always kind of wanted to get into the tech field or medicine. I chose tech because it was cheaper. So that's kind of the way I looked at it. But yeah, it's always a good field to get into. But if you have that special, like that ability to talk to people, it doesn't matter if you're good at tech, if you can talk to people. And it doesn't matter if you can't talk to people if you're good at tech. You see what I'm saying? If you're good at one or the other, you'll do fine in tech, because people who don't know tech but know how to talk to people can learn. And people who know tech but don't want to talk to people, they can still do tech. You see what I'm saying? There's a job for both. You know, you can become a hybrid like myself, or you can just be one or the other and be perfectly fine. Some of the best people I know don't know tech to that level, but they know people. Oh, they know people. And somebody will call in and specifically ask for them because, you know, they may have worked the issue together. They had fun. They may spend 10 minutes actually working the issue and another 15 minutes talking, but that person has kept that customer with that company. You see what I'm saying? So it's very, very useful to have a little bit of both, because that other person that's technical savvy can be the teammate of the person that's people savvy, and they can combine an issue. So you know, a people person, he'll be talking with a customer, chit chatting, yaddy yaddy, and then he'll turn it off to the other person for the technical issue, and then come back. You see what I'm saying? So it's there's different ways. There's more than one way to skin a cat, I guess is the best way to say that. So I felt that I should probably give my opinion on this, but yeah, this is the reason why I didn't want to write it, because it's going to be just like his. It's going to be like a paragraph, and it takes me 3 hours to write a paragraph. Okay, I'm done. I'm off my mic. Okay, so next thing, Wayfinder official extended gameplay trailer. I don't even know what this game is. And I was like, okay, well, let's see it because generally I watch all my trailers here as we get ready to help people. So I was like, okay, let's see what's up. It's an MMO?
Welcome to Wayfinder, a character-based online role-playing game for you and your friends. It's all set in Evanor, a gorgeous world that has fallen to an ancient and mysterious force known as the Gloom. It's up to you to push back against this hostile calamity that twists and corrupts everything it touches. You'll control the chaos as Wayfinders, powerful and diverse characters who are echoes of fallen heroes. After a cataclysmic event, they have been reborn of the Gloom, allowing you to shape both your Wayfinder's playstyle as well as their look. This is the Highlands, one of our large open world areas. Here, you'll pick up quests, find world bosses, participate in public events, and more. You'll also meet up with friends old and new while you're on your adventures. Public events are always more manageable with some help from other players. Each Wayfinder comes with their own set of unique moves and talents, but it's up to you to make your Wayfinder your own. Wayfinders like Senja lead the charge by pummeling enemies with their up-close and personal attacks. Each Wayfinder can play a major role in experimenting with different strategies and party compositions. After exploring the Highlands and adding a few notches under our belt, it's time to head to our social hub, Skylight.
Tank hitting kind of
Skylight
hard.
serves as your main hub for taking on quests, turning loot into weapons, as well as other Wayfinders, both of which will be continuously added over time. In addition to unlocking Wayfinders, you can also create unique combinations of abilities and weapons. Kairos excels in dealing damage. Equipping him with a rifle makes him a powerful addition to a party from a distance.
What I'm noticing is this is the kind of game with the kind of skill sets that is going to be playable for like 20 different platforms. You can play this on like a phone, I'd imagine, because of the artwork and the button placement. It looks like it's going to be on just about anything.
Skylight's Gloomgate serves as a portal into dungeons called Lost Zones. These ever-shifting dungeons are first discovered out in the wilds of Evanor, but as a Wayfinder, you can access and manipulate them with your Gloom Dagger. Lost Zones can be directly shaped and modified by you. Mutators allow you to control the chaos. In exchange for better rewards, Wayfinders can influence enemy spawns, environmental effects, and other challenging in-game conditions. We can't wait for you to play Wayfinder later this year. Sign up for a chance to play the game early, now. Thanks for watching.
Okay, is it just me or am I the only person that's kind of jaded because of Diablo Immortal? As soon as they start talking about you can increase it, I don't think Path of Exile, I think Diablo Immortal. And it's ruined me. So as soon as somebody starts talking about, oh, hey, we have dungeons, I'm like, cool, I love dungeons. That's one of the reasons why I go back to certain of the games that I play. I go back to Path of Exile because of dungeons. And they're like, oh yeah, but you can also increase the difficulty of the dungeon and the amount of loot that you get by certain items. And it's like, oh Lord, are you going to charge us for these items? Like, you don't think Path of Exile, and Path of Exile's way is excellent. You know, you can get loot, you can trade for loot, all that kind of stuff. But you don't think of that. Now you just think of Diablo Immortal because it's the last person who did you wrong. It's like you remember your ex that did you wrong more than you remember the person that, you know, that was good to you. So it's the exact same thing. That's the way I feel about it. Every time I look at that kind of stuff, I just get kind of frustrated thinking like, oh my God, please not Diablo Immortal. Don't immortal us, please. But this looks good. It looks... there was another cartoony MMO that came out that I didn't get a chance to play. That's what it reminds me of, but I like the purple because, you know, it's kind of like one of my favorite colors. It's the theme of the channel. So, hey, yeah, see, it's on Steam, PS5, PS4. I'm wondering if they're gonna, that looks like something that can even be played on the Switch or the Xbox. So we'll see how that goes, but we will be there to support it in the event that it needs support. So, you know, we always check on our games there to make sure they don't need any help with support because we're down with helping people. Okay, and this one here. Sony just pushed an update 23.blah, but it enables Discord voice chat, VR support, and 1440p and more. And the details are right here. So, social features: join a Discord voice chat on your PS5 console. Okay, cool. So, at least we'll take a look at that to see and make sure nobody has any problems or needs any help with that. I don't know. I haven't set it up yet, but I just saw it and I was like, okay, well, let's at least talk about it because we know we're probably going to get a question on it. So, and then it says new gameplay and personalization features. You can go 1440p, officially HDMI 2.1 only. Okay, Lil, we will remember that. We've also made some updates to the parameters of the PS5 consoles, 1440p output test, enabling 1440p support for a wider range of HDMI displays. That's great. And make some changes to the VR, easy to find VR games. Okay, so make some changes with that, some library enhancements, and some way of life customization. It looks like new accessibility and ease of use features. Okay, cool. So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. I mean, we have tickets for PlayStation, but I don't think anyone will have that to do with Discord. I think I saw one, but I don't think, I think somebody had already, it was like at 20 comments. So once it's at 20 comments, we don't really do a whole lot, but we'll keep a note on this. That way, you know, in case anybody has issues, we'll be able to troubleshoot. All right, the last one here that I saw was called Legion of Heroes Trails into Reverie. It looked like an MMO, but I just saw the name and it sounded like an MMO. Skies of Arcadia, Legend of the Seven Seas. That's what it reminded me of. So I was like, okay, let's at least check it out. It's an MMO. It's an MMO.
We didn't make the choices we did to be heroes. The path we chose. So we could finally... This is it. Here's the last hurdle standing between us and Crossbell's liberation.
Commence the operation! We won't let you lay a finger on our home.
So let's see us get over it. Then we can take back our home.
Do I even deserve to be happy when they can't be? Or forgiven for what I did? I was hoping there was a way we wouldn't lose them, obviously. But deep down, I had already given up and braced for the inevitable.
The physics of this game is just awesome. The physics is just all over the place.
Never did I expect to have this much fun.
Could you tell us your name?
I go by C.
Why was I made, though? What is my purpose? I don't know.
I don't know why you were made, nor do I know what your purpose is. What I do know is that you were brought to me.
It's up to us to keep fighting for everyone.
We're right here with you. Let's do this.
Where one trail ends, another begins. The Legend of Heroes. Trails into Reverie.
Okay, that's definitely okay. One, that music is it go hard. I like it, but two, you know, it's that typical MMO. Everybody's hot, nobody's ugly. Even the villain be hot, be like, okay, I don't even want to fight no more. I just want to get your number. Alrighty, so all right, let's go ahead and get into it and start helping some people. Alrighty. Okay, so this is home networking, cement block networking, posted by Treezube. Okay. Hello, my partner rents in a cement building where the router is mounted above the door, 4 cement walls away from their room. All the Ethernet ports have the landlord's special paint job. I know that paint job where you just paint over it. I suspect that if I find a coax, it'll be a similar story. Yep. I can't run a cable as it would pass through a living room. Okay. Do I bite the bullet and get a range extender like the AC750? We don't need blistering speeds, but we can't watch YouTube or video calls with friends without stuttering. Our budget is flexible, but preferably under $75. Okay, well, if we're talking about under $75, I don't know how big this room is. Is it a 2-bedroom? Is this a 2-bedroom, 2 BDR, 1 BDR? Depending on the amount of rooms will change what you should get. I would say the best way to handle cement in an apartment or home or condo or whatever is to go with Ethernet or a power adapter, because then you'll be going through the power lines. You don't have to worry about interference in that way. So is this a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom? Depending on the amount of rooms will change what you should get. If it is only a 1-bedroom, we should go with Ethernet over power. Ethernet, we'll just spell it out. That way they don't have any questions about it. Ethernet over power adapters is going to be a great option. But if it's more than 1 bedroom, I would say a range extender. But you know, that may introduce some latency, but this may introduce some latency depending on how thick the walls are. You gotta let them know how thick the walls are. You know, I don't like, you know, if we're talking about your options there, range extenders typically, especially like if it's cement, like if it's really, really thick cement, it can be a problem. It can be a real big problem. We don't want to introduce problems. We want to introduce solutions. So we got to let them know. But I mean, if it's like a 2-bedroom or a 3-bedroom, I really don't like going Ethernet or power in that kind of a situation. Even though you can get range extenders that can basically extend throughout your entire home and you can have them in individual rooms, but it tends to nerf the data transfer. I get that you're only watching YouTube and making video calls. It's just that if we're talking about 2 or more rooms, I would rather you have Wi-Fi extender, because then you're not bound to a location. You see what I'm saying? It's not necessarily so much that range extenders is poor for the job or Ethernet over power is poor for the job, but flexibility becomes a thing. If it's only 1 bedroom, then you could just run Ethernet over power to that guy and then plug it into your computer and you're good. But if we're talking about multiple rooms, then yeah, you want to have some range there. So that's what I would say here. Tree Zoob, keep us posted if you have questions. So this is on the Xbox. Let me go ahead and boot this guy up here and get ready and boot up the PlayStation. I don't know if we have Switch questions. I think we do, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I installed Fortnite for the new chapter, realized it's bad and uninstalled it. Okay, yeah, I remember this. I remember this guy. He was talking about Fortnite, but he had some issues trying to get Fortnite off his Xbox. At least that's what I thought, but now every time I turn on my Xbox, it's magically there again. I've tried restarting my Xbox factory reset, keeping games to no avail. Any help would be useful. By the way, I got the Series X on Christmas. If that helps, congratulations. So I said, for this one, could you try to go back to the storage and uninstall a different game to see if that gets removed as well? Also, when you reload the Xbox and saw that it was there, were you able to play the game? He said he couldn't play the game, which means that it's really not there. And say, oh, okay, so he did come back. He said, okay, so it appears that the game did uninstall. It just corrupted and displayed the game like it's there. To fix the download game again, uninstall it. This should get it removed for good. Let us know if that works. It came back again. Wipe. Well, this will more than likely be a wipe, as it will protect future games you download. So I would just get it over with and re-download everything. So what we're saying with this one here is because it appears that his drive may have some corruption. So the best way you can handle that is a wipe. But if it comes back and you have this issue in the future with another game, then your drive may just be corrupted. Like you may have to look at maybe replacing your drive. It may have some partitions and stuff like that that are a problem. And because of that, it can't uninstall the game properly. So I would go for the wipe, see if the wipe fixes it. If it does fix it and you don't have the problem again, then you're good. But if you do have the problem, you may have to replace the SSD. But still, we're not talking about something that's major. It's just something that's in the Xbox. It's really easy to do. So, well, this will more than likely be a wipe as it will protect future games you can download. So I would just get over it and re-download everything. For the Xbox, I thought I knew it off the top of my head, but probably don't. Let me check real quick here. This is going to be under System, Reset Console. Okay, so it's under System and then Reset Console. So re-download everything. This will be under System, Reset Console. You think after doing this for so long, we'd kind of know, but apparently not. Alrighty, Mr. Toxic Ninja, keep us posted there. Yeah, I'm sorry it came back, bro. But I mean, it depends on how badly do you hate Fortnite. I mean, if you hate it that bad, man, then go ahead and go for the wipe. That's what I would say on this particular situation. See if it keeps coming back no matter what you do. Do you feel the same when you keep dying in the exact same spot in the game? I do feel like I'd be going kind of crazy. What would be the best example of that? Oh, the Valkyries. Not God of War 2's Valkyrie, the Queen Valkyrie from God of War 1, where she comes out and she slams her head in the ground. Like, yeah, that chick, that chick right there. That was like a 5-6 hour boss fight. I felt that way. Oh, and the monkey from I think everybody has that in their like upper echelon craziness fights from Sekiro, if I say it right. So yeah, I definitely feel your pain. I don't even know anything funny to say. Any Souls like, yep. Souls like for sure, and the Queen Valkyrie. Their level of craziness makes you crazy. For sure. Gotta put the Queen Valkyrie in there. You can't go Souls-like and not have the Queen Valkyrie. I'm sorry. I know it's not a Souls-like game, but you gotta have that Queen Valkyrie. That chick was crazy. She was so angry. It's not like we killed anybody or took the wings off of her sisters or anything, but she was very mad. So yeah, Xbox One wireless controller menu button not responding. Okay, and they got a video. We love videos. So let's see what he got here. Why does it say it doesn't see a battery? Why does it say it doesn't see a battery? Here, let's do this here. If you pair it to your phone or PC, does it work? To the PC, it will open a menu. He said the Xbox button, right? Menu button not responding. Menu button. Okay, let me see what he means when he says menu button. If he's talking about the actual Xbox play button. No, he's talking about the menu button. Yeah. So he can pair that with anybody. So either try to pair it with his phone or his computer and see if it makes a difference. Pretty your phone or PC doesn't work. To the PC, it will open them. Well, not. I thought I was like talking about the Xbox button. PC doesn't work. You can test on any free game that supports controllers like Call of Duty Mobile and see what happens. Also, what happens if you plug the controller in wirelessly? Does it make a difference? A difference. If I can spell difference, you gonna give me that? No, you're not. Okay. It's like, nope, you're on your own. It's not like I don't know how to spell it. I didn't feel like typing it. Geez, you can't just help me out a little bit? Nope. Okay, so that's what I would say for this one here. I don't know what he was talking about. I'm guessing he's, what'd he say? I noticed that during its last use while, oh, this is him. Oh, let's read it. I noticed that during its last use while being connected to my PC, the menu button on my Xbox One controller suddenly stopped working. I have tried pressing it over and over to unstick. I have tried setting it through a couple of power cycles. I have tried resetting my computer and connecting it to my old Xbox. I have completely disassembled the controller, cleaned the PCBs with isopropyl alcohol, and made sure there was no more grime, and yet it still doesn't work. Do you guys know what's going on? Because I really don't want to buy another one of them for like $60. Yeah, I would say but he's talking about three different things. First off, he started with his menu button, right? Which is for you guys, we'll do an elite. So on the elite, it's this button. This button right here, that button. That's what he's talking about at first. He's talking about this button and this button, right? But now he's talking about the X button at the top, right? So he's talking about the X button, and it's like, okay, well, which one are you talking about? Which one do you want us to troubleshoot? Because they do different things, right? Because if you press this X button while you're in a PC, it will open up a totally different menu than if you press this one right here. These two, you only really see something if you're pressing them in game. Whereas this one here, you can press it outside of the game and it'll actually show something. So with this one here, I still want to know my questions here. So basically try to plug it in, see if it makes a difference, because it may just be the Bluetooth connectivity, but the best way to know is to plug it into another device. He said he tried plugging it into his Xbox, but he kind of cut off there. So I know it wasn't working, but to what extent did you try plugging it directly? We need more information before we can proceed. So keep us posted, Mr. Oh my God. Here we go with these names, man. We can't say your name because your name is Cray Cray. Mr. 84. Keep us posted, okay? Alrighty. PlayStation, let's do it. Anyone else have this issue? I have an issue where I need water. Give me 1 second here. All right. Far Fennel. Recently, my controller has been having this issue where my left analog stick affects the right analog stick, where it moves the camera up and down depending on which way I move it. I've tried to search a solution for this. Okay, just make sure nobody had a question. Try to search for a solution for this, but it seems like nobody else is having this issue, at least hasn't talked about it yet. Is there a way around this? Wait, what? Anyone else having this issue? My controller has been having issues where the left analog stick affects the right analog stick. Okay, gotcha. Okay. One, this is a repeat. And oh my God, he went all the way in. Okay, so I said, what device are you using this on? What kind of computer is it? It sounds more like stick drift, but if you plug it in to whatever device you are testing this on, does the issue go away? I'm currently using a PS5 controller on my PS5, and it seems to be happening regardless if it's plugged in or not. So I doubt the problems with Bluetooth. To be honest, I don't think this is stick drift, since it only moves the camera, right analog stick, when I try moving the left stick on said direction, which to me seems to be more of a problem with how the controller is registering movement. It seems to be also linked to the fact that the touchpad keeps on registering random movements, which is an issue a lot of people have that I haven't inputted, which makes it harder for me to type given the touchpad keeps on acting without me touching it, making me stuck on a certain key and not being able to maneuver properly around the on-screen keyboard. An issue I originally dismissed as a problem with how the spray coating is around the touchpad, considering this problem normally common on black PS5 controllers, which seems to be the case now that I'm having a similar problem with the joysticks. I might have to return to Sony and have it repaired instead of trying to find a way around it, which is unfortunate since I've only had this controller for a few months after having a brand new controller given to me from the previous one they couldn't repair. Okay. So, okay. Prove it. No, I'm joking. Okay, prove it. Pair your Bluetooth controller with your phone or any other device, and try a game. If your theory is correct, it will drift on the other device as well. Then you will have your answer. Hopefully this is the case, because the alternative is bad. The alternative would be hardware fault on the PlayStation, meaning that you would have to buy another controller and then test it. And if that controller is having the same problems, then you have an issue with the PlayStation itself and not necessarily the controllers. So yeah, I would say for this one here, there's nothing wrong. If a person is willing to type this much about what he thinks and what he thinks the issue is, challenge him. I mean, hey, it's not like we're not new at this and not like we don't know how to do this. Just challenge him. Be like, okay, yeah, sure, prove it. So if what you're saying is true, not that it's wrong or right or anything like that, it's just that let's challenge it. So let's prove it. So if that's the way that you think that's what's happening, then let's go ahead and try it. Plug it into another device. If you still have the problem, then you know it's drift and you know it's the controller. But if you don't have the issue anymore, then you know it's some type of communication issue between the controller and the PlayStation, and we have to look a little deeper. So yeah, it's okay to challenge back on that one, because if you're willing to put that much into what you believe the issue is, then I'm willing to help you with it. I mean, it's not a slight to me or a slight to anyone else if somebody challenges your opinions. It's just you know, it's like this. In order to be able to lead, you have to know how to follow. So if you try to give somebody a question, you're trying to lead them into a direction, and they say, no, I don't think we should go in that direction. The reason is, I've been in these woods for 10 years, and I know that if I go in this direction here, I know that the trees will go this way, and the forest will go this way, and the wind will blow this way, and the water will flow downstream. Who am I to be like, oh, no, we're going to do what I say. We're going to go this. No, of course, I'm going to follow him. You see what I'm saying? So it's okay, even if it's wrong. Even if what they're saying is wrong, it's okay to follow them to their conclusion, because then it lets them know that, hey, I got your back. Hey, I'm here to trust you, right or wrong. I'm with you. You see what I'm saying? I'm rolling with you, right or wrong. That's the kind of implication that you want to give people, because that establishes trust. So now, you know, if he has a question, he'll ask. If it's wrong, he'll ask. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you want. You want that person to come back to you. Okay, so group 1 done. Hey, we're making some progress. All righty, group 2, let's get ready. All right, let me give him a swig here. Oh, we probably should get off of that before it actually starts playing another video. Can't be having commercials. Alrighty, so this is a person with no name. It's just numbers. So we'll call him 3. 3 writes, Xbox wireless headset just breaks out of nowhere. I only got the headset early January this year, and they showed no sign of breaking or have only been used on occasion. Okay, mostly for competitive games. Just as I was about to put them on my head, the right speaker broke off and is now dangling by the wire inside. Also still works, but now it can't stay on my head. I've had this happen before with the PlayStation 4 the PlayStation 4 headset. Okay, the black one with the black and blue one with the long band, it broke and it was just hanging. So yeah, this happens quite often. I mean, what's the question? I mean, what's what you want me to say? Yeah, it happens. What's the question? I used to put it back together with super glue, and duct tape. Good times. Fun fact about this. Good times. Tim's times. LOL. I don't know if he's actually asking a question, but funny thing with this kind of stuff, right, is if, like, me personally, the reason why I don't wear, like, okay, so you've seen me go, like, I used to have these, right, which are great, and they'll be even better whenever we start troubleshooting people live. So once we move to troubleshooting people live, I'll probably wear these a little bit more, but they hurt my ears. All headsets typically hurt my ears. I prefer something like this, right? Something that is very, very not heavy on my ears, because anything that gets right here, it kind of annoys me. So what you can do is you can break them. So in his situation here, where his broke like that, I would just break them and then put like some super glue and tape it back up together. And because you've already broken them and put them back together, there's not as much biting force on your ears, and they last longer that way because they don't hurt your ears. You can have them on your ears longer. So for any of you who have problems with headsets staying on and you get ear fatigue, I would recommend just breaking them. I mean, they're yours, especially if you're already outside of warranty, just break them and then put them back together, like either break them or bend them. So either way, so sometimes you can bend them and that'll be enough, or you just have to straight up break them because they're just too tight. So yeah, that's what I would do. I mean, I break them all the time. I break them out of the box because it's just easier for me to keep them longer, because it just irks me that badly. It's also why I don't do reviews on headsets. I want to, it's just, you know, how you gonna do a review on a broken headset, you know? So fun story about me. Okay, let's go ahead and go to the next one here. Useful Newt. Why does this look like that? What am I supposed to do with this? What happened? Did he? I don't know what's happening. Why does this look like that though? Will PS4 controller work for cloud gaming? Okay, yeah, I remember that question. Okay, I guess that's it. Why are you on Big Sur? Are you not able to upgrade? We talked about this. On our Mac, we were on, this guy here was on, what was it, Ventura? Ventura? I don't know. We can look. I checked. I remember this earlier. It didn't show anything bad. I was worried that it would show something, but it doesn't. So yeah, on this one here, we were on Ventura. Okay. So that's where we got that from. We were like, okay, well, why are you on this particular version? Why aren't you on, you know, the most up-to-date version of Mac? And he said, we just test this on stream. We teach you issues live to help people. So we tried this, right? So we tried to pair our PS5 controller. Currently, the PS5 controller is paired. Let me fix that real quick while it's on my mind, because now the PS5 won't turn on because the controller isn't paired to it. It's paired to the Mac. So let me actually undo that from yesterday real quick. Okay. I don't know if I can. I thought you could just, press something. I think you can. I think you just press these two buttons together until it does something. Yeah, there we go. And then there is a sensor here or something. I don't remember. Here, let me just pair it this way. Okay. In any event, that's what we said. So we tried it, and that's what happened. And I said, I have a Mac Air 2014, so that's why I can't upgrade. So I was interested to know if a PS4 plugged into the Mac would work with the browser version of cloud gaming. It should. It should, but unfortunately, I don't have a way to test. But I've personally never had issues with controllers on Macs. We talked about this. So with the Macs, they now allow for, well, okay, if you throw in Tomb Raider aside, right? They allow for certain gaming, like stream gaming, or game stream gaming, which is NVIDIA, GeForce Now, cloud stream gaming, Google gaming, stuff like that. Things that are on the cloud, you can actually use that and have it paired with the controller. I've personally, between the iPhone, the iPad, the Mac Mini, the MacBook Pros, I've never had an issue with controller and pairing connectivity, nor have I troubleshot a person who's had an issue with pairing and troubleshooting connectivities on Macs. I don't know why. We just don't get them very often. So it's not like we can't troubleshoot them. We just don't see them. Like I've never had a problem with the PS5 controller after the update to iOS. The newest one, like the newest one that came out, it became available that you can actually pair your PS5 controller to it. That was only a limitation of the software, but as soon as it upgraded to that version, you never had that problem anymore. PS5 controllers pair no problem. Xbox controllers always paired. So I've never run into a situation where the controller would not pair to any Apple device. So it doesn't happen all that often. I'm sure it may, all these years, it may have happened once or twice, but it just doesn't happen all that often. It should, but unfortunately I don't have a way to test, but I've personally never had issues with controllers on Macs. My oldest Mac around here is like 2016. Like I don't have one that as old as his, so I wouldn't be able to troubleshoot it, nor would anyone else. We would have to be on that particular version in order to know, but it should be fine. I've really never had too many issues with controllers. Alrighty, this is from OzzyCat. Only mobile gamers. How mobile game developers picture their fans. Mobile gaming fans. that is a picture. That is creepy. What's the candle for? Kermit D. Frog here from the set of my new video where I am on the toilet playing video games, apparently. Okay, well, that is as creepy as it can get there. So fun for him, I guess. Is somebody asking me a question? DM. No. That's just somebody trying to sell me something. Okay, last night couldn't get an answer. Sticky buttons. Okay, so this is from Serrana04. Last night, I spilled some monster on my controller and dried it off without thinking. Today, some of my buttons are sticky and don't click. What should I do? Okay. Okay. Oh, okay. Here's the thing, right? Of all the things that you can spill on a controller, monster is probably the worst because not only is it sugar, right? So sugar attracts ants. So even if you were able to clear it, you have to worry about attracting ants in your room. So now your ants will eat up that controller like it's nothing. So I don't even know, even if you could, if it'll be a good idea. And then the second part is it's going to be so sticky that no matter what you're going to do, you're still going to have problems with that controller. It's almost always a game over. Sometimes you can get it to work a little bit, but you don't want to be stuck with it because all you're going to do is get a trail of ants. You don't even know where they come from. they'll just be attacking your controller like it owes them money. So I would say, well, you are screwed either way. One, just tell them the truth, because it's monster. That means your controller is full of sugar, which means even if you fixed it, it will attract ants who it will attract ants like nobody. Oh no, I'm saying it will attract ants, and not just any ants. All of the ants. Maybe even a wasp. Maybe even a wasp. LOL. 2, you can try to clean it out with alcohol to mask the smell, but since it's so sweet, it's very difficult to not make the controller sticky, make the button sticky. Gotta let them know. There's not a whole lot you can do here. So, you know, and I get people trying to give others hope. Like when people drop their cell phones in oceans and stuff like that, I'll be like, yeah, you can go after it, but this is Florida. You may die. Like there's no coming back. It's not like you get continues. This isn't Monopoly, okay? If you go in, you're going to be somebody allocator's lunch. Like I don't see a point. Like it's like, okay, you know, if you dropped it and it's like dropped in like water, okay, cool. We can try to put in a flour to dry it out, stuff like that. But that's water, okay? There's no sugar in that. Because it's sugar and it's a monster drink, it's one of the worst things you can drop it in because you have to deal with the stickiness and you have to deal with the bugs. I don't know if some people really want to do that. You know, sometimes you may have to just let a controller go. And this would be one of those times because that controller, yeah, it's not going to have a good time, man. I'm just sorry. I have to be the bearer of bad news. It's not going to have a good time. Okay, finally done with the setup. Any ideas, upgrades are appreciated. Why your jeans have the rest of that chair? I'm pretty sure your jeans are pregnant. Yeah, I don't even know what to say to this, man, but yeah, his jeans are most definitely pregnant. The way that, like that right there, bro, your jeans are pregnant. Your jeans are at least 4 months pregnant at this point. But as far as an upgrade, you know, the chair, okay, it's in bad shape. Don't get me wrong, but if it's super comfortable, who am I to say no? It doesn't have its arms anymore. Which no, I guess they're recessed, so it still has its arms, kinda. I mean, they're kind of small. So yeah, I would say the chair, but I mean, I think everybody would say the chair at this point. It appears that he's a streamer as well because you can see that he has the mic as well as he has it going into a Scarlett 2i2. So I mean, this man is not hurt for money. That's a sure the SM7B, which is this guy, which is what I currently use. And that guy right there is more than that chair. So it appears that this man can afford it. So I think he was just trying to be goofy on this one here. And that is disgusting. So I do like the background, seeing the fact it's Pac-Man. But yeah, stop taping sandpaper to your butt. No, mine's just funnier. It's the sheer power of the cheeks that does that. The grip of the heat of the moment, holding on to avoid ejection after a long day of Taco Bell and Mountain Dew. Wow. Baja be the blast. Okay. You're a beautiful human, let me tell you. Drink some water. Okay, so yeah, that is a thing. I still think mine is the funniest. This is probably the only one of these chats that has like 300 comments where I feel like I'm probably going to get the W on this one. Mine is really good. So yeah. Let's go ahead and go to group 3 and see what's going on here. PS5 overheating. We dealt with this before. Oh, okay. This man has a lot to say. Okay, good. We already worked this issue, so I don't have to read it. PS5 overheating. Something overheating. We'll get back to it if we need to. Question: how do you know if it's overheating was the issue? Were you able to blow out the dust within the console? I was able to get the dust out. Excuse me. I was able to get the dust out, and I realized there is a message that comes up when it's overheating. So I don't know. It might be a different issue since it just turns off. Okay, well, I mean, if you take the, I've never, okay, I have the replacement fins to turn my PS5 gray in another room, but I've never taken them off. I was thinking that maybe you could take the wings off and see if it gives you some more air. This is a PS5, right? Yeah. So, because I think that the fan grill is there, is once it's underneath here. I'm thinking, if I remember correctly, let me just look it up. PS5, no, what do they call it? Side fins, image. If I remember correctly, Here, we'll just do it this way. PS5 side removal. Okay, yeah. So right here, it's like it's very, very open, so it should be able to get a little bit more air. So I would say just remove the fins for right now. So, okay. There might be a different issue. Well, we can prove it. Woo, Anthony, yo English. Well, we can prove it. Take the sides off and see if that helps the PS5 breathe. Does it give the error for overheating then? So yeah, we'll go with that. So let's say his issue may be overheating. I don't know if it is or if it isn't, but if he thinks that is overheating and he's getting a message saying something to that effect, then let's go ahead and continue. So if he's getting that message, just go ahead and remove the fins and let it get as much air as humanly possible. Maybe even put a fan on it and see if it makes a difference. You see what I'm saying? You're not going to hurt it any more than it's already hurt, right? Because it's overheating, so it's already shutting off. So you can't make it any worse. So I would go ahead and just remove the fins temporarily and see exactly what happens and see if it will actually stay on longer. If it stays on longer, then yeah, he may be right. He may be straight up having a heating issue. And if it stays on longer and it actually fixes the problem, then yeah, he may need to clear some dust. But if it doesn't fix the problem and it's still turning off, even with the fans on, then that means that his processor is straight up overheating. So it may get real bad. So we'll see how it goes and we'll just kind of go from there. Jeff Fisher, keep us posted. Okay, Gogeta, I remember him. I just remember the name. To be honest, I don't necessarily remember him, but the name, yes. Okay, let's do this. Gogeta, Dell laptop powers on and turns back off. Got it. A few months ago, my Dell laptop started blinking amber light and won't power on. I researched and found out it was the battery that completely died. I replaced the battery and got a new charger, but then now when I try to turn it on, it turns a white LED on and it won't even enter the boot screen. Yeah, if your battery was the problem, then if you had it plugged into the wall, even if the battery was dead, the laptop would still come on, provided it was the adapter that came with it. Did you have an external monitor per chance? Sounds like the screen may have died. Do you have any other devices you can plug into the laptop? Could try an external monitor, but you sure my screen may have died? My whole laptop just powers off. I thought you said it gave you a white light. You said it turns a white LED on and it won't enter the boot screen. Well, but you said it turns a white LED on. Most people have TVs, etc. in their home. I would just plug the laptop into one of those guys to see if it shows anything. Because, I mean, if he doesn't have an issue with booting the device, he just can't see it, then it will show something on the other screen. So it may show the picture, it may show an image, it may just show something. So that's the reason why I say that. Just go ahead and try it into a different monitor and see if it does anything. But you said it turns a white LED on. Most people have TVs, etc. in their home. I would just plug the laptop into one of those guys to see if it shows you anything. Yeah, but if it's powering off, that's a little different. But you're saying that it showed a white LED, which means that it's trying to power on. But, you know, if you hear it shutting down, that may be a little bit different. But we may just need some more information and clarify just so we can proceed further. So keep us posted, bro. We'll get back to you. Ugh, the guts of a computer. How's my cable management? Well, it could use some work. But I mean, hey, my cable management used to be that bad too. My cable management, it's not the greatest. It's gotten better over the years though. I've been cussed out before. so if you've been in networking a lot for as long as I have, you run into people who come from places where it is their job. Typically, they're called NOC engineers, where it's their job to keep the server racks as clean and tidy as possible. And there's like procedure and things that you follow to make sure that it stays that way. And so you give me happy-go-lucky engineer who thinks that he knows how to troubleshoot in tech and stuff like that, but I don't know anything about cable management. at least at the time, I'd be getting cussed out. Like, what are you doing? Why are you running this cable here? Like, what is wrong with you? You have to run this particular cable of this particular color, because if you don't, then other people will do the exact same thing and it just turns into chaos. And you mess around and get cussed out by them people. You gotta be very, very careful, because you gotta make sure you have the right color, the right port going into the right port, the right jack, and you have to make sure that it's wired around the device. You don't want to make sure that it's sitting in front of the device. People can trip over it. It could be a hazard. I mean, there's so many things that go into it, and you gain a very quick appreciation when you get cussed out because you didn't clean your room. You know what I mean? So in this case here, it's essentially like getting cussed out for not cleaning your room. That's the way it felt, because it's like you just have cables everywhere and you're just trying to get a job done as quickly as possible. But that job, it may affect somebody else, because you may have somebody trip and not even hurt themselves because you don't know how to manage your cables. Be very, very careful. You want to make sure that this is not what you do if you're trying to do it for a job. But residential, I mean, hey, you know, unless you're trying to show it off to a girl or something, or you're trying to show it off to your parents or your friends, you know, I mean, yeah, I've done it before. I've had it kind of messy, but you know, I try to clean up just so airflow, not necessarily because I'm trying to take pictures. But you know, it could use some work. It could use some work. Or the PSU can go into the case. Either or, LOL. Yeah, I mean, you know, hey, I get it. You wouldn't be the first person that did that, especially if you're just trying to test something. So can Dago, nice picture, bro. It's only one picture, so we can go ahead and move on. Argus 69 Panoptis, swapping a keyboard for a backlit one. Oh, I remember this. This man was talking about swapping out his keyboard for a backlit one for a laptop, and we were like, why? Because you're gonna open up that laptop and you may violate your warranty, bro. We gotta look out for you. Not really. Most people don't really try to replace the keyboard itself for one with a backlight. It may violate the warranty. You just got it, so I wouldn't recommend it. We could also just get you could also just get an external keyboard with the backlight you want and have it travel with you. Yeah, I decided against due to the warranty, and someone mentioned that the keyboard is riveted to the chassis. Yeah. Yeah. Have to protect you from yourself. No, I'm not gonna say that's kind of offensive. Yeah. Yeah. It's not ideal for sure. Yell if you have any further questions. We do this for fun. There we go. So yeah, that's pretty much, we'll call that a W. You know, we'll call that a W. That's a straight W. We'll take the win there. Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'd like to thank the forum, because without the forum, none of this would be possible. And yeah, we'll keep on rolling. Doing pretty good so far. Educational Links writes, Canon Pixelmon. Okay, so this is the printer one. So we've had a few printers, which we don't get often. Is usually gaming, networking, IP, so on and so forth. I mean, we've gotten work stuff, but this was a printer one, and it's not like we don't know how to troubleshoot printers. It's actually one of our fortes. But so he said he bought this printer, the MP470, which is a regular I'm not sure if it's an inkjet, but it's your regular printer of these days. I used to call them, they used to be called like inkjets or bubble jets, but I'm not sure what the actual terminology is for them now, because now they just be like Canon Pixma MP470 stylus printer, and it's like, stylus is like, is that the way the ink is distributed? Most of the time it's just a cartridge and it just prints, it just, you know, has like kind of like a ballpoint pen kind of thing. But neither here nor there. Well, when we test with our lab mic, what are we doing here? Okay, so he's saying, I bought a printer from Facebook Marketplace. I've used Canon a ton with Macs, and I don't think to check for compatibility. While Windows drivers are up to date, the Mac drivers for this model are out of date by 10 years. Okay, I remember this. So he was thinking that the drivers for the Canon MP470 were out of date. So we tested this. We went to the site for the Pixma MP470 on our Mac, on our lab Mac, and we were able to download it, and it didn't say anything like that. It said it had a download from 2022. Hey, thanks for the reply. Are you referring to the My Image Garden download that pops up? I'm attaching a screenshot with what comes up for the Mac downloads, and the driver.dmg that's only available for Windows 8 or earlier. Let's see. I am talking about the image garden. He's talking about the driver. Oh, okay. So maybe 366. Let's see. I am. Okay. I was under the impression that the software would have the driver as well. I would test it to see if it resolves your issue. If it doesn't, just uninstall it. Yeah, so with that one there, you run into this situation a lot with printers, right? Sometimes, okay, there used to be times where you would just get the firmware, right? So you have a printer, you hook it up, you get the firmware, you install the firmware on whichever computers you want, and that's the end of it. But nowadays, I don't know of a printer company between Jackson Hewitt and Epson and so on and so forth that basically have printers without software. All of them do, because they want you to buy the ink, because the ink is more valuable than diamonds these days. Like, that ink is at least $400 for like one cartridge. So because of that, they want you to come back. So they almost always have software, and some of the companies put the drivers in the software, forcing you to get the software. Does that make sense? So it's always best when we're talking about printers to make sure you download the software, because in the software may actually be the driver you're looking for. This also applies to mice too. It sometimes is better to go ahead and download the driver software, because in that it can also give you the driver, because if it doesn't have it on the software itself, it'll download it for you. So I would always check the software in that event, because they may have moved away from it just being straight drivers. And this is not operating system dependent. This is Windows, Mac, or Linux. Okay, so yeah, that's what we were referring to, yes. So yeah, keep us posted, Mr. Links there. Hopefully we can get that going for you. But we don't have the printer, so there's no point in us installing the software. But that's what I would do. I would try to install the software and see if it makes a difference. Okay, we'll close that out. Alrighty. That's a very good picture of Goku. Back before his hair got crazier. Awesome chair. Awesome chair? Man, that's Goku. What you talking about? Oh, yeah. I don't know why sometimes I get the embody, because this one here is also the embody. And I was trying to see if they had questions or support, so I just added them. But every now and then, I don't know how he got the blue back. I don't think mine is blue. No, it's gray. So yeah, I always wanted this color, but when I picked mine out, it had nothing to do with all this. It was just back pain. I was just trying to make it so that it wouldn't hurt my back. But I mean, I like the build. I like his setup. I like his keyboard even more. So hey, congrats to him. I always wanted to go with like a full-size screen. It's just that we have so much stuff going on that it's very hard to have everything on one screen and expect it to actually do what you want it to do. But still, nice build, bro. Congrats. Nice build, bro. Congrats. Oh, let me switch it back for y'all so I can see what he's talking about. It's this picture. There we go. Give the man his props. Give the man his props. Alrighty, so this is from Georgia Rebel. Saved game list gone. I loaded up today and noticed my saved game list under collections were gone. Has this happened to anyone else? Saved game list under collections? Saved game list under collections. PlayStation. Let's see. Are you talking to me now? Yay! Oh, here's the update. DualSense wireless controller device software. Notify me. We're kind of running a show here. Okay. We'll do that a little bit later, though. I'll make sure to do it over the weekend. I loaded up today and noticed my saved game list under collections were gone. Saved game list under collections. Why get in my way? I'm trying to get to the settings. Saved game list under collections. Under collections. He's talking about logging into the PlayStation, I think. And I don't have the... Oh, well, I have it. It's just that it's a pain in the butt to sign in. Here, let me switch off and then sign in. Well, or at least try to. I don't think I can. I think actually this is my screen, so I'm not going to worry about it. I loaded up today and noticed my saved game list under collections were gone. Has this happened to anyone else? Save data in games, gaming presets, automatic updates, game status. Yeah. Well, I already have the answer for it, so we'll just go with that, and I'll just set that up tonight. I keep doing it. It's been like that for like a few days, and I just haven't had a chance to log myself back in. So with this one, do you still have a PS5 membership, or is it expired? Save game list under collections were gone. Has this happened to anyone else before? So with this one, do you still have a PS5 membership, or is it expired? I would check that to see if it has gone out, and let us know your findings. So yeah, I would go with that, and then just kind of go from there. We can't say too much more than that because we can't log in to see it. Oh, also, we can ask for a picture because that would help us tremendously. Also, could you share a picture of what you are referring to? For educational purposes only, because we have to know exactly what you're talking about. Because I don't know if it's actually a place called Save Game Collection. Because I'm just thinking that you're talking about when you log into your PS5 account and you click on yourself, you can actually see the games that you are able to download. I thought that that's what you're referring to, which means that if you don't have a PS5 account, or if your account is expired, then it may not be able to show you that list. So yeah. Baked cookie. That sounds delicious. How often should I clean my CPU? That's a fan. I don't, what? I mean, I can see that it's getting dirty, but it's so, there was a video, the bracket. So, okay. You see this bracket right here? Over here in the corner right here. So I was trying to watch a video to try to set up this anti-sag bracket because it's not very obvious. And this case here can't actually fit an EATX properly. It actually doesn't have screws in the last 3 holes, right? So I was trying to figure out what's the best way to get this anti-sag bracket on here. And so I watched the video, and he was showing you how to set up the anti-sag bracket, but he was zoomed all the way in, and it was driving me crazy. So like, let me show you what I'm talking about here. I'm like, how on earth do you expect anybody to be able to know what to do here? Anti-sag bracket. Yeah, here it is, 4090. It's like the first one. Yeah, I think it's this one.
You can add extra support for your Gigabyte RTX 40 series graphics card with the dedicated anti-sag bracket that comes in the box. Here's how to install it. These are the parts and the tool you will need for the installation. For easier installation, we recommend that you lay your case on the side to have a better working angle. First, remove the 2 screws on the lower right corner of your motherboard and replace them with the standoffs. Then, secure the L-shaped bracket to the standoffs with the flathead screws. Next, attach the mounting bracket to the back side of the graphics card and screw in with the necessary number of screws.
I was like, what? You see how close this man is? I'm like, how am I supposed to know what you're doing? I can't even see the part. Zoom out. Like, oh my God. Like, how is anybody supposed to see this? Like, I was just trying to figure it out. I was like, what?
Slide the mounting bracket behind the L-shaped bracket and then insert your graphics card into the first PCIe slot. Note that you must do so in this order. Otherwise, you won't be able to install the card properly. Once everything is in place, secure the card by screwing the card's front bracket and the mounting bracket to the case.
Yeah, so just some background. Like, he was just so zoomed in. I was just like, man, how am I supposed to know what to do with this? Because the pieces, just by looking at the pieces, you can't really tell. Like, if you were just looking at right here. Oh no, right here.
First, graphics card with the dedicated.
Okay.
Here's how to install it.
Okay. Yeah. So just by looking at these 2 pieces, I didn't have any of these screws, by the way. I just had these 2 pieces, and I'm trying to figure out how do I install it. Just by looking at these 2 pieces, you have no idea. And I'm just trying to figure that out. It took me forever. I'm sitting here trying to figure it out and try this way and which one do you screw in first? Do you screw it in this way? It was a pain. It was a huge pain. And then on top of that, because none of the motherboard standoffs were actually in those remaining 3 holes, it was even harder to put that in. So yeah. Yeah, I think his camera was just way too close. But back to him. How should I clean my PC? I can't even tell that it's dirty. I can't even tell that it's dirty. I can see it breathing. It's zoomed in so close. Zoomed in so close. But I would go with a air duster, but I would go with a air duster. What's it called? Compressed air. I would go with compressed air. But yeah, that's too close, man. It's kind of hard to see. I don't even know what this is. Like, it's okay. I know what it is. I mean, but it's just that it's hard to tell how much dust is actually accumulated just by looking at it. You can see dust in between here and in between the blades, but you don't really know just overall how much dust is there. So it looks more like dirt and grime than real dust. So I'm not even sure if you can actually clean that with something like that. You may have to literally take it off and put it in some type of a solution to clean it off and then let it dry. Alrighty, and by some type of solution, I usually mean my mind just went blank. What's that stuff called? I have it literally in another room. It's the stuff that white stuff. The not that cleaning. OxyClean. OxyClean. I'm talking about OxyClean. I'm not talking about any other form of Oxy. I'm talking about OxyClean. I'm saying you just put a little bit of that in some water and then put it in there and that will clean it. But you got to let it dry, of course, so that you don't damage any components. But that's what I would do. I would use something like OxyClean. Maybe I should tell him that. Where were we? Compress air. Or take it off and put the heatsink and some OxyClean to remove the excess dirt and give it a day or so to dry off before putting it back on the CPU. So yeah, that's what I would say. Sometimes I've done this before. Typically, I do this. The one of the things that you actually do this for is stoves. Like if you have a stove or whatever, the stove hood, it can accumulate grease, and the quickest way to clean that is by putting it in some hot soapy water with OxyClean, and it'll take it right off. So yeah, because OxyClean bounds to grease and dirt. Alrighty, so this is Shadowcross. I get no connection to my monitor. Okay. Hello, I don't get any connection to my monitor. I connected both HDMI and DisplayPort from my GPU. It sounds like you use them both at the same time. To the monitor, I have a MSI Mag X570S Edge Max Wi-Fi, 32 gigs of RAM, DDR4, and a 7900 XTX. AMD Ryzen 5800 X3D, and a EVGA 1000-watt power supply. I updated the motherboard with the latest BIOS before installing anything. What do you all recommend? Well, so try this. What happens if you plug in your cable into another monitor or TV? Does it show a picture? If it does, we can investigate a faulty monitor. But if it doesn't show a pic, then you may have issues with the cable or graphics card. Let us know. Sorry for the late reply. I tried it on 2 different monitors and there's still no signal. What I did notice though is the GPU displays 3 red dots. My monitor is basically brand new. Oh, okay. Okay, then I would say to reseat your graphics card and try new power connectors from your PSU. No, PSU to your from your PSU to your graphics card. Okay, then what I would say to reseat your graphics card and try new power connectors from your PSU to your graphics card to see if that makes a difference. So yeah, it could be a couple different things. It could be power. Okay, so like with the Gigabyte, the 4090, whenever I was trying to move it to that other rig that I just showed there, the is it over here? Maybe I had it. Hold on. Okay, I thought I had it over here. I thought I did. Apparently I don't. I thought I did. Where'd it go? Okay, well, I guess I don't have it. Okay, well, I tried to use an extender, right? So that I wouldn't have the 4 breakouts so that it's longer and it's better. But whenever I tried, it wouldn't even boot. So it wouldn't even show a picture. It wouldn't do anything. It would just sit there and hang. So I had to go back to the original 4-pin breakout. And what was crazy, and here's the crazy thing. When it comes on the 4090s, if you don't have anything plugged into the power and you just have it plugged into the PCIe slot, it comes on. The computer actually comes on. But as soon as you tried it with an extender that was not compatible with the graphics card, it wouldn't even boot. It would just sit there stuck. At least the other one would get you into BIOS. I thought that was just the weirdest thing ever. So I don't know what's kind of going on with that, but apparently it really, really hates whenever you use different pins. That's the 4090, but the alternative is the 7900 XTX. So I would go with that one. Even though I didn't have any problems with my 6900 XT, I would still say to go ahead and try that. Make sure that you swap out the cables just to make sure that that's not the problem. Alrighty, Shadowcross, keep us posted there. We're the only people talking to him? Yeah, keep us posted. Okay, so this is from Random Gamer 1917. Random Gamer is up there in age, man. He would be 100 and something if that was the case. So maybe that's not his real age. Does anyone else here have an Xbox Series X and Elite Series 2 controller with the wired QC25? And can't get the inline microphone to work? Is there a fix for this? Okay, well, do you have the same issue if the Xbox controller is plugged in directly into the Xbox, or does the issue go away? Same issue. The mic works with the PS5, it seems, an Xbox issue. I tried vModa Boom Pro, and it works, but it doesn't like my QC25 inline mic for whatever reason. QC25 inline mic? I thought it was a 3.5 millimeter, right? That's what I think we were talking about last time. QC25 inline mic. Oh, okay. So it's just this just plugs directly into the controller. Okay, yeah. Well, same issue. The mic works with the PS5. It seems an Xbox issue. I tried vModa Boom Pro and it works, but it doesn't like my QC25 inline mic for whatever reason. Okay, well, I would try a second controller just for verification, but if that fails too, then yeah, sounds like it is not friends with your microphone. LOL. Yeah, you gotta let them know. So on this one here, yeah, I mean, if it's doing that, and you try a second controller and it's still giving the same issue, then at that point it's just a bad microphone. Well, it's not necessarily a bad microphone, it's just a microphone that isn't supported by the Xbox. I'm not sure what microphones are and aren't, but that most definitely isn't if 2 controllers give you the same issue and plugging it in gives you the same issue. So at that point it's just incompatibility with the microphone. Group 5, it's like I'm shopping for groceries. While doing this, I'm also shopping for groceries. Group 5, there we go. What time is it? 8:18? I think we're doing pretty good on time. Okay, Group 5. Alrighty, so I have a question. I have an answer. If I create a new user on my PS4, will the game from the first user be playable in the new one? No. No, but well, he said it already. No, but you will not be able to see the games purchased by the other user either. So that's a thing. They would need to be associated with the same account if you want to play the same games. Just make sure the account that purchased the games has the specific PS4 set as the primary console. Beyond that, yes, any accounts added to the primary console should be able to play any games downloaded. It should be able to play the games downloaded, but not necessarily the games purchased, because you have to log into the account in order to do that. No, but maybe I said that wrong. No, but you will be able to see the games purchased by the other user either. Maybe I'm thinking about the Switch. Let me think about that. Well, what am I thinking about? We can just test it. PS5. Switch user. User 2. Oh, he's right. My bad. So, my bad. I'm thinking about the Switch. On the Switch, whenever you add a new account, it shows blank for that new user. Well, no, I take that back. Doesn't it? Okay. If you give your Switch to someone else, they can play your games that you've already downloaded onto your Switch. If you create a new account on the Switch, okay, you know what? I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Is this dead too? Why is everything dead in my house? Come on now. Come on now. You're making me look bad in front of my friends. let me hook up something real quick so I can charge it real quick. And we can test what I am referring to. Oh, that's going to that. Okay. And this is going to who? Is this a... Oh my God. Half of my controllers are USB-C. The other half is something else. Okay. There we go. Okay. Come on now. Any day now. There we go. And switch. B. No, not sleep mode, but I thought, let me just try something here. I thought that if you switch users, it changes. Okay, maybe that was just me tripping, because I could have sworn in some of these situations, whenever you switch, it would not keep it. How do you, can't you just log out? No. Okay, fair enough. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just tripping. I for some reason, I thought that once you switch to another account, it's not there, but apparently I'm wrong, so I'll take that L. So we'll just change that from no, but yes. No. Yes. User. Yes, but you... Okay. This is right, though. Yes, but you will not be able to see the games purchased by the other user in their store. So that's the thing. They would need to be associated with the same account if you want to play the same games. Associated with the same account in order to download. In order to download them. There we go. We'll keep it like that, because he kind of already answered the question. So I would just go that you still have to, you won't be able to download the games from another account unless it's associated with that account. So you still have to log into the PlayStation 5 in order to download new games, but games that are already there should still work. That's what you want to say. So sorry about that. I messed up a little bit there. I think the Switch has made me jaded on the on what you can do with the PlayStation with multiple accounts. Alrighty, if anybody, you don't know what I'm referring to, Smash Brothers, if you have the exact same account, you still can't play Smash Brothers with someone else. So you have to essentially, you have to have different accounts in order for you to both play Smash Brothers, and one has to be, they both have to have two versions of Smash Brothers if you have two Switches. They can't just be playing the same game and then hook up together and then play, unless we're talking about local multiplayer. But if we're talking about over the internet, then yeah, you have to do that. But then I bought that and I did just that just to find out that it wasn't great. So I think it's just my mental psyche, because I've dealt with Smash Brothers online and knowing it's terrible, and that just coming back to haunt me. So I think that may be the reason why I got that one wrong. But Mr. Dryer, I am not saying your name, sir. Anyone know why sometimes my computer will become incredibly slow for seemingly no reason, and I have to shut down by holding the power button? I press shut down or restart the desktop, and it will instantly say it is shutting down or restarting, but won't actually. Yeah, more than likely you have too many processes running in the background, so it has to shut them all down before it can actually power off. Are you running an SSD or NVMe drive, or is your operating system on a hard drive? It's an SSD. Okay. Okay, well, I would go to start. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Startup apps. Startup. Wow. Startup apps and apps, and make sure you only have applications turned on that you are using or deem useful. And well, I'll say this and I'll show you what I'm talking about. And also make sure your SSD isn't full, as this can be an issue as well. How much memory does your PC have? So what I'm referring to is this. So we'll do Windows 11 on the 3090 for our test here. So if we go to startup apps, ART up apps. Okay, there we go. So if we go to startup apps, it'll tell you all of the applications that are currently on, and you just turn them off, the ones that don't matter. So that way it'll help with the processing of the SSD, seeing the fact he has an SSD. Now, of course, you can't say with the NVMe, you can probably leave them all turned on, but I would turn off some of them to see if that helps. Reboot and then let it boot up, and then it won't have as many programs and processes to close, because, and that may be slowing him down is what I'm referring to. And then what else did I say? Oh, check his SSD drive just to make sure that it isn't full. So everybody knows how to do that one. So yeah, that's what I would say for that. How much memory does your PC have? You can see this by doing a search for Task Manager and then Performance. Which is here. Actually, we'll just do a search for it. Task. There we go. Task Manager and then Performance and then Memory. So we're just trying to get him to go there. That way he can at least let us know how much memory he has, because the memory may have something to do with it. So it's better just to go ahead and ask and get it out the way. That way we have an idea of what he's working with. How much memory does your PC have? You can see this by going to Task Manager Performance. Yeah, and we'll go with that. So yeah, I would say try to remove the startup apps and make sure you only have applications turned on that you are using or deem useful. And also make sure your SSD isn't full, as this can be an issue as well. How much memory does your PC have? Okay, cool. So once he makes these changes, I don't want to say anything else, because if I do, I'm afraid that he may not do any of it. So I'll go ahead, and the reason why I say that is because his answer was so short. He didn't elaborate. He didn't say anything. It was just 3 words. So because his answers are so short, you don't want to ask him a million questions, because he may only reply with one. You know, does that make sense? So you just don't want to ask him too many questions on this one here. You just want to kind of ask him, hey, turn off some of your startup apps. We're going to have to reboot, obviously, just to make sure that the apps, the processes themselves aren't running in the background. But I just wanted to just get that out there, as well as have him check the memory and his SSD just to make sure it isn't full. Alrighty, Mr. Dryer, keep us posted. Okay, my 1-year-old air-cooled SFF. I'm down. Hey, a 6900 XT. That's our guy. We have one in our rigs. And a Noctua NHD 15. Is it still called an NHD 15? I'm old. They may have changed the name. It may be like a NHUD 15 or something, but to me, it will always be the Noctua NHD 15. So that looks great. I mean, that's what that cooler looks like. And it has it going directly into this fan and this fan. I do this too. Like I'll have 2 fans. Like whenever I had the Noctua and I had it going into, I'm sorry, it wasn't the Noctua. It was the Fantex TPC 14PE. I'm not sure if this one is. I think this one's a Noctua though. But the Fantex is okay. Why am I talking about it when I can just show you? Fantex. Oops, sorry. What did I do? Undo. Over here breaking stuff. Fantex. What was it? Fantex TPC 14PE. Yeah, this one. I had this one because at the time when the Noctua, the NHD 15, it was only one color. So, but I'm old enough to remember when Noctua was only one color. So it was brown, okay, and it was ugly, okay. I'm just sorry. I know people like it, and I know people have gotten used to it, but in our day, it was ugly. So because of that, Fantex came out with the TPC 14PE, which is basically the Noctua NHD 15, but it was a color, and that's the reason why I got it, because I can make it go white. So mine looked like this, and it was all white, and then I had a white fan in the back to exhaust it. So it was triple fan to exhaust the air off the cooler. And I had a 3930K in it with like 64 or 128 gigs of RAM. It was great. It was such a good computer. It was my computer, then it turned into my EXXI host, and then it turned it back to my computer, and then it went back to my EXXI host. I loved that guy. That 3930K was a G. It was my favorite. And on top of that, I got it for a discount because I worked at Best Buy. I loved that guy, man. That was my baby. But the Noctua NHD15. Yeah, this guy. He will always be the NHD15. I'm not sure what they call it nowadays, but to me, he will always be the NHD15. And he always had these ugly brown fans and nobody liked it. But people got used to it. But I can say definitively, no one liked it, but everyone got used to it. All right. So I think we worked his issue already. Yeah, we already talked about him. Okay. Yep. We talked about him and we talked about this one. Okay, cool. This was the one we were on. Okay. Nice build, bro. Very compact and good cable management. Shout out to the Noctuas. I like the Lee and Lee fans here. They look like Lee and Lee fans. I'm not sure if they are 100%, but they look like the Lee and Lee fans that stick together. Oh, he has more than one picture. Okay, so he has a Corsair SF600 power supply, it looks like. And yeah, that looks really good, man. Congratulations. That's a nice little build you got going on here. And oh, his even has USB-C ports. I've literally wanted to replace motherboards because mine didn't have USB-C ports, because a lot of my devices that I have that I travel with all have USB-C ports, and it's kind of annoying. The only things that don't are like these mice here, like this mouse here, which is the Erbiter. There you go. The Death Adder V2 Pro, which is a very good mouse because you can switch between 2 different inputs. So if I'm at work, I can change to Bluetooth. And when I'm doing this, it's on 2.4. But this guy here uses micro USB, which is a gigantic pain in the butt. But most things use USB-C, which is why I like having USB-C ports, even though these are 20 gigabits per second transfer speed type ports. But it's nice to have them. Wow, that is super clean. That is as minimalistic as you can get. That's the very definition of minimalistic, and that is one heck of a mouse. There was that other mouse that was just an exoskeleton that was like $500. It was like super expensive. It was crazy, but I like his headset too. It looks comfortable. Alrighty, monkey system. Here's the thing with green, and this is coming from a person whose birthday is on St. Patrick's Day. I don't like the color. I like the color, but it grows on you so quickly. Like if you see green way too many times, you get kind of annoyed. Like I've had computer cases, and like when the Half-X had the NVIDIA version, Half-X NVIDIA version. So when it came out with this case right here, right? So the inside was green and I wanted it so badly, but at the same time, I was like, if it was green, I would change that color out 18 times because you can only have green for so long before it gets annoying. You see what I'm saying? Like green is the color, the type of color on a computer case that will annoy you after a time. Like you would want to change up the color a little bit. I figure red is probably going to be the exact same way because looking at a green and a red glow is kind of annoying. And I would say blue, like all primary colors can get annoying after a while. You always want to change the spectrum. I feel like most people are more keen to have secondary colors, white and black, than primary colors, red, blue, and green, when configuring their computers because they can't stare at them for very long. This is my theory. I've not tested this yet, but I'm pretty sure that is the case because I've seen people with red cases and then I check on them a year later and it's blue. And then I check on them a year later, then it's purple, then it's orange, then it's yellow, then it's white, then it's cyan, and then it's lavender. Lavender is pretty though. So yeah, that's what I always feel about it. I think that people, whenever they have like primary colors, like the red, blue, I don't think green is even a primary color. I think it's a secondary color. So I feel kind of stupid saying that. But red, blue, and magenta would be the primary colors. But that blue, yellow, that green, those harsh colors, I think it kind of turns people off. But yeah, that's my spiel on colors. But I mean, you know, if it works for him. Hike district, but green. Yeah, that is green means go. Okay, cool. I mean, it's nice, bro. Congratulations. it looks like a really nice build, you know, minus the green hue that is very, very sharp. Alrighty, oh, I'm not saying that. That may be a cuss word. So I know what it says. It's cucaracha, which is cockroach. But yeah, I'm not about to call this man a cockroach. So losing my mind right now. Help. Okay, so my PS4 hot stuck on an update. Error screen and remote magically stopped working. So I unplugged it and replugged it back. Replugged it, but it put me back on the same screen, only now instead of the remote blinking multiple times and not working, it only blinks 1 to 2 times. What? So my PS4 hot stuck on an update error screen and my remote magically stopped working. So I unplugged it and replugged it, but it put me back to the same screen, only now instead of the remote blinking multiple times and not working, it only blinks 1 to 2 times. Okay. So he's talking about he's using a remote with his PlayStation 4. And it appears that he has an update error, and now he's having problems with his remote working with his PS4. Okay, does the PS4 just work in general, as in everything is fine? Anything is fine. It's just you are having issues with the remote. If so, I don't know if you can unpair and repair remotes. That's what I was gonna say. But PS4 remote pairing. PS4 remote controller. Oh no, remote. Okay. Does he mean remote controller or does he mean an actual remote? Okay, maybe he means remote controller. Maybe he means remote controller. Let's assume he means remote controller. As in everything is fine, you just are having issues with the remote controller? If so, what happens if you plug the controller in directly? I think that's what he's talking about. Okay, I think he's talking about what we just experienced. So, right, when we turned on the PS5, it told us that it wanted to update the controller, right? So it was like, hey, we want to update the controller. I think he may have issues trying to update his controller, and because of that, it's now blinking 2 lights, meaning that it's no longer paired with the PS5. So in order to fix that, all you have to do is press down the PS5 button, and I'll show you. Basically, on the PS5, you press the PS5 button as well as whichever button is blinking, this guy over here. You press those 2 buttons down together, and that will usually charge it, or just plug it directly into the PS5 and it will automatically sync. So that's the PS5. The PS4 was the same way though. Okay, does the PS4 work in general, as in everything is fine, you're just having issues with the remote controller? If so, what happens if you plug the controller in directly? To repair the remote, you just follow this guide. I don't have a picture. And I can't give him a picture because you can't copy paste. So we'll just show it this way. PS4 controller pair with PS4. I think it's going to be the same way. You just kind of plug it in. Okay. Yeah, we'll just give him this. That way he has a picture so that he can follow along. Wow, Anthony. Wow, Anthony. I pressed Windows key V instead of Control V because of the Mac. I see the Mac in the back of my screen, so I can switch between them as quickly as you guys can see them. And so I'm looking at the Mac and then trying to paste, but as soon as I see the Mac's background, my mind changes to Mac. So I immediately start typing as if I was typing on a Mac. Wow, I have problems. All right, so that's what I would say here from Mr. Cockroach here, but keep us posted, sir. Alrighty. Dell laptop powers on and turns back off. We worked this. Okay, yeah. A few months ago, my laptop started blinking amber lights. It won't power on. I researched and found out it was my battery. We already talked about this issue. He must have replied twice. Even worse is that when I unplug my laptop, it doesn't turn on at all. Okay. And turned it on. Display is fine. It's literally the battery that is the problem. But you said it turns a white LED on. Most people have TVs, etc. in their home. I would just plug the laptop into one of those guys and see if it shows anything. I just fixed the laptop and turned on and everything display is fine. It's literally the battery that is the problem. That's weird. That's interesting that your battery being dead with it being plugged in would kill it. But glad you got it resolved, bro. Have a good one. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. You rarely ever run into a situation unless he's not using the actual manufacturer's adapter, that having it plugged into the, because it's supposed to be able to support it 100% and allow it to charge. So if it's a dead battery, it should still power on, even if the battery is dead, if you have it plugged into an AC adapter that is from that particular manufacturer, that is for that particular laptop. So the fact that it didn't is kind of interesting, and that's what we went off of. So I don't even consider this an L. This is more of a interesting situation, but I don't really think of this as an L on this one. So this was just us making the conclusion that that you tried with a adapter plugged into the wall and it is the Dell adapter, because Dell adapters are very, very specific to those devices. So yeah. Okay. That's not me in denial. That's just me stating facts. I promise I'm not in denial. Okay, recording external audio on a Galaxy S21 via 3.5 millimeter male-to-male cable. Okay, Galaxy 21. So we're back on cell phones, and we were talking about this. Okay, well, I guess we wasn't talking about this. I said, what? I'm not sure the Apple II nor any device can transfer data over a 3.5 millimeter jack. Typically, it would be set up to use some form of USB. The Apple II, at least a couple of particular models, such as the 2E, along with some of the other old systems of the time, could save load data from cassettes, which is done over 3.5 millimeter cables. Holy hell. USB wasn't around at the time of the Apple II. USB came out in 1996, whereas the Apple II was around in the 70s/80s. There are currently projects out there that allow you to emulate a cassette deck for loading software to the Apple II over a 3.5 millimeter jack from your PC or phone to the Apple II, but it seems like it will be hard to save from the Apple II to a phone with some method due to some hardware annoyances. Jesus Christ, this was an L. The other one was not an L. This is an L. This man obviously has studied the Apple II way more than I have. When the Apple II came out, I was a kid, so I never had it. So I didn't have Apple until maybe 10 years ago. So he may be absolutely, oh no, there's no, he's probably absolutely right with the level of detail. Okay, touche, homie. Touche, homie. I don't know what to say on that. Okay, so what's his question? I'm not using the right TRS cable. Does anybody else ask questions? Touche, homie. I don't even know what to say. Hold on. Before I say that, let's see what everybody else said before I comment, because he may have already gotten it fixed, or is he just talking to us? IHOP. The issue here is trying an audio out signal and detecting it as a microphone in signal. In theory, it's possible messing with wires, but an audio out signal is going to be way too strong to directly detect as a microphone in signal, even if you wire it up properly. If you want to attempt it, you just need to have a cable that ends in a 3.5 millimeter microphone and strip it and connect the wires from the 3.5 millimeter out. I'd buy one of these sort of adapters and just strip the microphone side of it. The reason it's not working for you is that the 3.5 millimeter headphone and 3.5 millimeter microphone connectors end differently. Yes, the 3.5 millimeter headphone has a two circles. It has 2 rings around it, whereas the 3.5 millimeter has 3 rings around it. 3.5 millimeter microphone has 3 rings around it. I've had back to girlfriends. I've had girlfriends I've taught that to, and basically, like with the 3.5 millimeter jack, I was like, okay, and like she was trying to figure out why it wouldn't work, and she had like AirPods or something like that, and I was like, well, 2 means that it's for sound, but it was not for microphone, where if you have 3, it's for sound and microphone. And I was showing her that, and she was telling me, like, I met her later on down the line, and she was telling me that she was telling her boyfriends that to make them think that she knows tech. So yeah, that's just, I was like, okay. I don't even know what to say to that, but yeah. And to make it usable, you're probably going to need some sort of reverse amplifier where it takes a strong signal and makes it weaker. This is kind of where my electronic knowledge falls out, though. You're going to have to find someone more experienced to figure that part out. Wow, this makes a lot of sense. I'll take a look into the reverse amplifier thing. I might also just try to use a cassette interface that the Apple II uses. It will be annoying, but perhaps more efficient and easier for someone who knows little about electronics like me. Thanks for your help. Touche, homie. Okay, cool. Touche, homie. You most definitely have more knowledge about this than I do. So I will take my L and my basketball and go home. Forget you guys, I'm going home. Yeah, we're gonna take the L on that one. That one's harsh. Yeah, I've never had an Apple II, so for me to be sitting here trying to talk about, you know, things that you can try would be a little bit misplaced, especially when somebody gives such a good answer. So props to IHOP 007, because this man knows his stuff when it comes to this older gear here, and well, newer gear to older gear. Okay, I'm glad somebody was able to help you there, sir, even though it was not us. Alrighty, Halifax. Hold on. Am I saying something bad? I feel like I am. We're just not gonna say his name because I feel like I'm saying something bad. I think I'm thinking of something and it's saying something that sounds something similar to something that I'm thinking about. So I'm just not gonna say it anymore. This user says, got my first legendary score last week with my Lin Li A4H2O Mini ITX and just hit a first place score in Firestrike Extreme. Similar components, 5800X3D with a 4080. With it while having really solid thermal, 64 degrees Celsius on the CPU, 49 degrees Celsius on the GPU, and 50% fan speed. Oh, I remember this. We've looked at this before. This is the one with the rainbow finish. It looks great. Like, we've seen this before. It's a great brick. I mean, it's a nice little build that he has with the rainbow finish and everything. Congrats. I mean, you know, hey, get him in his props. Nice decal. People are now wrapping their computers instead of their cars, LOL. Wrapping would have been better in the long run since I could change it up, LOL. It's powder coated in prismatic universe. Jesus. Jesus. Looks like it ate the rainbow. No, that's not even funny. Jesus. Well, congrats, bro. Happy for you. It looks nice. It's not, I mean, he can definitely say nobody has a case that's similar to his, for sure. Alrighty, we have what, 2 more? What is up with us burning through these cases a lot quicker than normal? Usually when we have 6 groups, we can hit all 6 groups and we can still answer questions and all kind of stuff. But some reason, we're going a little bit, you know what? We can YOLO some of these afterwards. Let's see. Yeah, we'll YOLO some of these and we'll just talk about some of the fun ones and we'll do it that way. Alrighty. So yet another A4000 ITX modification. Okay, so the A4000 is kind of unique because the A4001 is a 1-slot car, which makes it unique. But 2, when you unstrip it and you remove the shroud, you can do a whole lot with it. Very similar to the 3070 Mini here that he's showing, or any mini series card. I'm not sure which one that is specifically. So, okay, so he's telling a story. So basically, he's redoing the pin here. Wow, he's soldering, which I don't do. That's a little bit outside of my knowledge range. Oh, okay. So he put the small form factor cooler onto this guy to keep it cool instead of the longer one. Oh, snap. That's actually pretty sweet. So now he has an A4000 mod with the mini shroud. So, oh, that's clean. Oh, that's really clean. So now he doesn't have a long card. And now he has a shorter card that's 2-slot instead of a single card that's 1-slot. You know, depending on which rig that is, that would actually be pretty sweet. But some rigs, you may not fit that. Some rigs, the 1-slot may be actually better. Like, for example, this guy. this guy here would fit the 1 slot and not the 2 slot. But if the 2 slot is longer, so there I've seen people with this particular rig, they've extended the front panel. So like this guy right here, they've made it longer to accommodate the A4000. Even though there's no place for it, you can basically make a cutout to make it so that that A4000 can fit in this case. So you can have a very small form factor case. Like to give you guys some perspective, this is AirPods, and this is the actual case, like how small it is. It's super tiny. It can fit in anybody's backpack or pocket. No, not a pocket, but anybody's backpack. And you can extend it a little bit. It can fit an A4000. And for those of you who are not aware, an A4000 hits hard. In other words, it slaps. It's like a 3060, 3070, 3060 Ti, 3070, somewhere in that area, depending on how you look at it. It's supposed to be on par with a 3070, and the A2000 is supposed to be on par with the 3060. But yeah, it slaps. It slaps hard. So not only can you do production type work, you can also do gaming type work in a single slot and put it in cases that allow you to travel. So yeah, it's very, very good. I definitely recommend it. It gets hot though. It's always been that way. All of the Quadro series though, they can get hot because of the blower style cooler that it uses. But still, dope. Nice modification, bro. Nice modification. Bro, congrats. Give the man his props. You got to give the man his flowers. Congratulations. That's a nice little build. I'm afraid to do something like that because if I break something and waste that much money, I'll be mad at myself. Okay, Panda color. Panda. i9 13900K with an RTX 4090. Oh, okay. This is pretty sweet. I think we've seen this before though, because it had that white and black with the cooler and then the this rainbow fluid going into a 360 millimeter radiator. I mean, that's pretty slick, bro. Congratulations. We were actually looking up this because I had the, I wanted to see if you can actually liquid cool the 4090 because I was thinking about doing that to mine. But, okay, what aftermarket AIO cooler is that on the 4090? It does not look like the Supreme. Do you mean this? Yep. I wonder if you can put that on the, I have the Gigabyte. I wonder if you can get that cooler just by itself and buy it like out of the box instead of going with this guy. You know what I mean? Like if I can just, like, I'm guessing, I'm looking at the size of the motherboards. I'm guessing that the Gigabyte Aorus, whatever it's called, this one here. I'm guessing this guy here and that guy have the same motherboard. It's just that this one is liquid cool and this one is not. So I would love to swap it out with that one because that would be pretty sweet. Because then you could have it liquid cooled and instead of air cooled, and that would help with temperatures. Even though temperatures aren't exactly crazy, they don't really get hot at all, as a matter of fact. But it'll be nice to have something like that. That would be pretty sweet because it's a better look. Okay, so we'll YOLO some. Okay, we'll just do it. Why not? PC Master Race. Let's go. And here, we'll just do it this way. That way we know where we are. So we'll do this. We'll YOLO. YOLO, YOLO. Is your SSD corrupt? I'll answer that. That looks pretty. I'll take a look at that. Oh, sure. That's a meme. I'm down. Okay, so we'll do these and we'll finish up for the day, right? So we started with this. What causes this? What am I looking at? What are you trying to show us? What causes what? Are you talking about the backlight bleed? Well, there's no point in me talking. There's 464 comments. I'm guessing he's talking about the backlight bleed. I'm not really sure. I can't really tell. I mean, you have to be, backlight bleed? Screen delamination in the case of my larger Samsung TV that exhibit identical colors, cones of colors. It's unfixable and eventually results in the death of the device. Good gravy, man. Okay, so he's talking, I'm guessing it's like little cones here at the bottom is what he's talking about. Okay, I thought it was bleed, but okay. My smart TV has those for 5 years and it's still okay. And yes, it's a Samsung. Me with 10 years, old indestructible monitor laughs at 1080p. Me with my 6-year-old AOC monitor laughs at 1360 by 768. Hey, man, that 768 was pro. AOC is great for price performance. I had a Westinghouse. Okay. Now it's story time. Maybe there's a reason why we should look at some of these ones that have. So typically whenever we troubleshoot issues, we kind of go for people who don't have anyone answering because they need help, right? And we help people. That's what we do on this channel. We help people. We can go to sleep with a smile knowing that we help 50 people a day. Like we are in this. We are helping a lot of people, right? But some of these ones that have like 300 responses are kind of funny. So like I used to have this television that I tried to kill. It's a Westinghouse, right? So I'm old enough to remember when like big 40 inch, 42 inch screens at first came out, and they were the talk of the town. Everybody wanted a 42 inch monitor or a 42 inch screen. I was one of the first people that had a 42 inch screen that was actually a monitor. I thought it was the coolest thing in the world. I thought you couldn't tell me nothing. I thought I was just like the best tech junkie ever, right? I had this nice 42 inch monitor, which did not exist at the time. But the thing about it was truly a monitor, right? Because most 42 inch TVs at the time had coaxial, and they had component, they had RCA, and they had like maybe an HDMI port, but generally not. Some did, some didn't, but the HDMI was only like 720p at the time, right? This thing was huge. It was big and it was heavy. Lord, please let me find the picture. Westinghouse 42 inch monitor. Is this it? I feel like this is it. Oh no, why you change it on me? It's not the small one, it's the big one. It was a lot of things, but small wasn't it. No, man, why would you change it? It's like this, but it was like this, but I took the stand off, and you just kind of pick it up, and it's like, it weighs maybe like 80 pounds. Like, it is freaking huge. And it was so heavy, and I mounted it by myself on a wall, right? And this is it right here. Because of the ports, I saw the ports and the ports. Yeah, these are the same ports, right? So this is the guy, right? So I took off the stand and I mounted it on a wall, and it was so heavy, and it had VGA, it had the DVI, it had the component, right? And on the other side, it had one HDMI port. I love that monitor. I used to hook computers up to it. I never really watched TV, so it wasn't a big deal. We couldn't afford cable anyway, or I couldn't at the time, right? So I would just have like computers hooked up to it, and would show the computers at 720p. I thought I was balling, okay? The problem is, I have this rule, okay? At the time I had this rule until I turned my obsession into something that was profitable. I did not buy tech unless the previous tech died, right? So I wanted a new television, but me personally, I couldn't bring myself to buy a new television because this thing wouldn't die. So I was like, okay, let's try a few things. So like I moved it into a room, and I tried to put it someplace else. I tried to drop it, would not die. I was like, okay, well, let me just use it a little bit longer. Use it a little bit longer for like 6 months, and I'll get kind of tired of it because it's so freaking heavy. And so I can't move it around like I used to, and it's like so big and annoying, and like it hurts my thumbs when I pick it up, and it's sharp. The edges are sharp, and it's hurting me, and it's still perfect picture. I didn't drop this thing like 3 times. It still has a perfect picture. That thing will not die until one day I got fed up, and I didn't feel like carrying it anymore as I was moving from one place to another, and I just left it there. And I'm guessing the person is still using it because that thing will not die. That thing lasted for like 15 years. It is so, like, I don't even know how. I guess it's because it was 720p, and it was like from a manufacturer I don't know about. It never lost a pixel. It never had a back screen bleed. I mean, it was crazy how strong this television is. Nowadays, you blow at a computer or you blow at a monitor and it's out. This thing right here, oh my God. If you ever see a Westinghouse, you know you in for a good deal, because that thing used to be so good. So yes, mine is the Westinghouse. That 42-inch thing would not die. I don't know why it wouldn't die, but it was immortal, okay? That thing had 1 million lives. Never lost a single pixel. I don't even know how that's possible, but that's what happened. Okay, I don't even know what their issue was. I just kind of got frustrated talking about the stupid monitor that wouldn't die. Okay, cool. Yeah, we were just talking about them talking about performance and paid $200, and they were talking about their old computers and monitors. So yeah. Okay, that's what that reminded me of. Okay, cool. All right, let's go with the next one. Quick meme for my Forgotten Cake Day. Any Windows issue I discuss in this subreddit, get Linux. Hey, to be fair, that Steam Deck is pretty clean though. I'm not even gonna lie. I started using the Steam Deck, like I've had it for a while, and I did a review on it, but I never actually played it, right? Because I don't play, like the Steam Deck, I don't play it the way most people play Steam Decks, right? I play it differently. I use a program, what is it called? Mushroom or something like that, that allows me to remote into my gaming computer and play it that way. When you do it that way, you have max settings. You don't have to worry about you overutilizing the GPU or the machine getting hot, and your battery life increases because you're just streaming video at that point. You're not actually playing the actual console and using the graphics of the console. So that's usually the way I play games. So for me, I just started going back to it because I was just wanting to try it out, and I figured out that way, and now I use that way, and that's on Linux, and it works just fine. So yeah, big shout out to Linux. You gotta give it some respect. When people see Linux, they think back. That's also very true. First SFF PC build, i9 RTX 4080 and an NR200. Oh, that's NR2. Oh, wow. That is an excellent looking air cooler. That looks awesome. I really like that. The fact that 4080 can fit makes me angry, but I do like the build. It's very, very nice. Congratulations. The fact that this can fit is just, I tried, it did not work. It was very, very annoying, but this looks really cool. I like the polar bear in there. That looks really nice. Zotac RTX 4080. Okay, fair enough. But the Gigabyte doesn't fit. Don't try. Please, God, don't try. I hate this board. I talked about this. I can't stand this board. This is of all the boards in the world, this is my hated board. This board is awful because this board here makes it so that you can't use SSDs because generally your power supply is going to be right next to your motherboard, and this riser, this daughter board, wherever it is, it's around here somewhere. This daughter board makes it so that you can't actually use SSDs because you don't have any SATA ports, and the only way you have SATA ports is on this daughter board. So yeah, if you're gonna go for a Z, it's not even called Z, it's an AM5 motherboard for the Ryzen series, and you want to go ITX, this is an option, but I don't really recommend it. I would recommend it if you need the ports, because sometimes you can just go NVMe. Like, some people are okay with just having NVMe and no SSD, but outside of that though, I would say if you're going to go NVMe, go with this guy. It's okay, but that's only if you have absolutely no plans on going SSD, because SSD is a gigantic pain with this board. It drives me insane. It does a lot because it has a lot of ports, and it gives you a lot of extra ports. It gives you all the ports that you lose by having ITX. It gives you that right back, right? So that's the good thing about it. But the bad thing about it is, oh my God, no SSD. That really hurts. So not being able to use SATA ports is a pain. So just a shout out for anybody who has this particular board with that particular deck. Alrighty, and the last one. Is my SSD corrupt? Xbox Series X. I installed Dying Light 2 in January and the game keeps crashing to home screen. Sometimes Xbox reboots too. After about 1 to 3 hours of gaming, I did all the troubleshooting I could think of without wiping to factory settings. And though maybe it's just Dead by Daylight? Dying Light 2. But every game I installed after that crashes in the same way. The strange part is all the games that were installed before Dying Light 2, wow. Dying Light 2 works without crashing, so I don't think it's overheating issues or anything in the way. Everything is installed on the internal SSD. Does anyone have any clue of what's causing this? Well, instead of going with the wipe, if you have an external drive, I would try to install one of the games, we'll just say Dying Light 2. Dying Light 2 on the external drive and boot that way. If it works, then you have a drive problem. If it doesn't, you have a Xbox problem. We can troubleshoot either way, but this will point us in the right direction. Alrighty, so we'll go with that. It had all of the it was letting me know of all the errors, and so I looked down and then looked back up and they were all gone. So I was like, okay, so what were you having a problem with? What did I need to press? I think it was DOESN apostrophe. And okay, Oh, it just wants to capitalize Xbox. Okay. I lost them. I didn't know where they went. I was like, what happened? Okay, yeah. So for a SSD corrupt drive or a possible corrupt drive, I would just hook up an external drive if you have one. If you don't, he'll let us know. But if you have one and then move a game over to it and then try to boot that game from the external drive to see if it works, that'll let us know whether or not you're having a corrupt drive or just a hardware issue. But either way, we can troubleshoot it. But there's not a whole lot of options once we get to that section. But we'll work on it. So I would try a factory reset and wipe everything. I mean, or you can just burn the house down. You can do that too. Either way is fine. But yeah, I would actually try to work the issue a little bit. Did anybody else have another question for me? Okay, yeah, nobody has a. Oh no, I gotta answer these questions. No. As long as I don't click on them, it's okay. All right, cool. So we'll stop here. It appears that we've answered. We may actually have to do group 7 because we kind of burned through it pretty quickly, and we may have to have one available, and then it turns into the next day. We may do something like that. So that way I'm a little bit more prepared in the future, because sometimes it's like that, sometimes we'll do it, go through 6 groups and we finish and it's 9:30 and it's perfect, right? Or sometimes we may go through 4 groups and it's 9:30 and we haven't even gotten to group 5 and 6 because we've been chatting the entire time. It works that way. So it's kind of hard to get a good handle on it, but I think we're making progress. So I'm not too worried about it. So we'll just go ahead and call it here. Forum, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll pick this back up tomorrow and with a new set and troubleshoot. I think a new game is actually getting ready to launch here, so we'll get ready to support that. Check their forums and make sure they don't have any questions. Make sure that there's some people there that need help. We will be there to help them. All right. Oh, also, I was thinking about changing up our stream time. So I think next week we may actually do Monday through Thursday instead of Monday through Friday. That way I have 3 days to actually work on content, because what I'm noticing is that I'm not able to do reviews. And because I can't do reviews, because we stream every day, right? We stream every weekday, and I only have 2 days off. And those 2 days off, I usually spend relaxing or getting ready to make content or troubleshooting, so on and so forth. And I can eat those 2 days very, very quickly. So I think if I had that extra day, I'll be able to make more content instead of just having streams, right? We can get by on streams. It's just that in order to grow on YouTube, it's better to have a little bit of everything. Shorts, plus videos, plus streams. Even though I love streams, I feel like we may have to do that in the future. So I think I may change it up to Monday through Thursday. So I'll be sure to change the banners and everything so people know that it's Monday through Thursday instead of Monday through Friday. But I think that's what we'll do in the future. But without further ado, if you like this video, go to the like button. If you really like it, go to subscribe. I love you either way. Take care. All the best. And bye. I will see you tomorrow.